Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. It's going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So today we're going to do high-end teams for Clanboss. In tons of videos that I've done over the last few months, I've talked about speed tuning your team being the most optimal way to hit high scores on Clanboss. And I've done a ton of takeovers where I do exactly that. I put out my Clanboss series where I talk about building high defense, speed tuning to work with a counter attacker or an ally attacker to get the most out of your attacks each time, whilst lasting a long time to keep your poisons ticking throughout that time. So all of that still stands, and for 99.5% of the people that play this game, that is going to be the team you want to build. But I'm going to show you my team. My team, I've kind of evolved past that now. I'm at the absolute end game of Clanboss, and you move from speed tuning your team to get the best out of them at a slow pace, to getting enough gear and good enough champions to go as fast as you possibly can and do as much damage in the time that you've got with that Clanboss as your friend. So let me show you the team I've built. Anyone who's been on my streams will have seen this team in action, but basically what I did is I switched from slow Clanboss team doing good damage to fast Clanboss team doing good damage. What you really need in terms of elements for this team is somebody that's going to apply the speed buff. Ideally, somebody who's going to do a bit of turn meter boost. You still need your decrease attack. You still need your decrease defense and weaken. They're even more important, actually, probably than decrease attack in this build. Counter attacker is still really positive for your team because you still get extra hits when you counter attack. But for me, it's about damage. So let me show you my team. My counter attacker is Valkyrie. I did use Martyr in the same comp and probably got about a few million less damage. But Valkyrie is really, really good for Clanboss. Probably the best champion in the whole game for Clanboss. So I've built my Valkyrie to have as much defense as I can get her to have. Defense ring, maximum star. Defense rolls on the ring with a good glyph. Defense amulet. If there was more defense here, I would take it. But this crit damage is nice too. Defense max banner with defense roll and some speed, and then everything else I'm looking for here is max defense with max speed with as much crit as I can fit into this build. But defense is absolutely key on Valkyrie. So we've gone high defense gloves with some speed and some crit damage. High defense chest. This chest is not brilliant, but it's in defense set. For Valkyrie, I get another 15% defense if I get more than if I get 2 pieces defense set. Really important to get to these kind of numbers. Defense boots with crit, speed, and crit damage. And then we go speed, crit, and damage in defense item. Defense item with defense, speed, and crit. And defense item with defense, speed, crit. Which gets us up to a total of just over 8k defense at 200 speed. So she's running faster than the Clanboss. That's really important. We've then got my speed booster, who's my Mashald. Mashald's one of the best champions to do this role now. Lysandra could do it as well. Anyone who's got that kind of ability to lay increased speed on your team, the 30% one. What's nice with Mashald is he also brings increased crit damage, which is good for this type of team comp. For other team comps where you're just looking to go fast and perhaps just trying to get as many War Master procs as possible, this isn't as important. The leech is also nice. He does throw out a heal reduction, which isn't ideal. And he's quite hard to keep alive because he's got a low base defense. So what am I doing here? I'm trying to get him to do as much damage as possible. He does hit hard. He's got good multipliers. So I have gone defense on the ring. I still need to keep him alive. Defense is still important to keep people alive. I've still done defense on that amulet. His base defense is too low. I've tried him with crit damage here. He dies too early. This gives me more damage. And then he's got defense on his banner. So all of those jewelry items where I can get high base flat defense, I get that from my Mashald. He's also got speed, decent speed roll here, which I'm going to pump up a little bit more. Literally a little bit more with that glyph. So here we go. He has got then crit damage on his gloves. Okay, I'm nearly at 100% crit, not quite. I'd love a bit more crit in the build, but crit damage on the gloves. Defense on the chest with speed and crit rate. Speed on the boots with crit rate and crit damage. With some accuracy, I still want to land some of his stuff, but I actually don't push his accuracy up super high. because what I care about more is damage out of him. Crit rate, brilliant item this. Crit rate and crit damage and speed and accuracy, all 4 stats I want. Crit, speed, attack, crit, defense, and speed. So we end up with here a fast Mashald, good crit rate, great crit damage. Crit rate could actually come down a bit as well because I've got a Lanakis in this build. And Lanakis boosts crit rate. So this is fine. Still a good defense, still a good HP, okay accuracy. I don't really care about the accuracy on his build. So those 2 there. We've got our speed boost I just spoke about is my Lanakis. Lanakis is in there for this move here. Ally attack, gives him more attacks, more damage. We've got increased attack and increased crit rate. Most of this team are attack based, which is a big change from where I was in my slow builds, which are mostly defense based champions. Really big change. So my Lanakis, we've still got defense on the ring. We've got crit damage on the amulet. I want to push as much damage as I can out of her in the time that she's alive. And then we've got defense on the banner. She does not need accuracy in her build, so we're just going as fast as I can with defense. We've then got crit damage on the gloves with crit rate and speed. Defense on the chest with crit and crit. Speed with crit. You're going to see a lot of stuff here with crit, speed, crit. Same stuff, yeah? Speed, crit. All I want is as much damage out of her as I can in the time that she's alive. 3.1's a little bit low on the defense, but she's probably going to be the first to die. But good speed, okay crit rate. When she gets her crit buff from herself, she's going to be basically at 100 and 249 crit damage. When she's buffed by Mashald, that's about 280 damage. So really high damage. Masteries go into crit. I don't need to support masteries. So we've gone into crit and War Master. Didn't show the masteries actually on the last 2. Masteries on Mashald. Support. I want to get the debuff extension. I want to get the speed boosters from all of the debuffs and buffs wearing off. Yeah, I want to extend them for as long as I can. My Valkyrie, I want the biggest shields that I can possibly get. And I want it rotated as quickly as possible. So I've got the speed booster here for it dropping off. I've got this to try and get it back as soon as possible. And then we've got a basic War Master build. And then if we go into my other damage dealers, I've got Draco. Draco's bringing my decreased defense and weaken and all of my poison. He has got, again, this kind of mastery here. I probably should change him into lasting gifts actually to get even more damage out of him, but I did want this kind of defense and chance to counter. So I don't know if I've done the right way here or not. He is in Savage gear. This is the first time I've ever put someone in my Clanboss setup with Savage gear. He's also got an attack percentage chest. Again, the first time I've ever done that for Clanboss. So he has got defense on his ring. Still need to build up some base defense. Defense on his amulet, only because I get this juicy crit damage roll here. And then accuracy with speed. And then basically his Savage gear is crit, speed, and crit. Attack percentage, speed, crit. Speed, crit. Look at this. Nice crit roll here. Crit. Accuracy. It's all the same stats everywhere, guys. Speed, crit, and accuracy. Which gets me to a very nice 3.9k attack, 222 speed, 82 crit rate. Don't forget that gets buffed to 100 with Lanakis. And we get the crit damage buffed to about 250. I'd love to see this more like 300. But I don't have good enough Savage gear. 221 accuracy. So he is still looking pretty sharp. And then to finish the build off, we've got a decreased attack champion in Ultan. Ultan brings decreased attack on his A1. It also brings an increased defense on his A2, which is going to give us a higher shield value from our Valkyrie. His masteries, same sort of thing again. War Master, pretty standard Clanboss build here. We do want to get back his A2 whenever we can. I probably should have done this and this to get more speed out of his build. But I had him built already. I've not changed his build since I had him before. Probably should have done those 2 though. In terms of artifacts then, we have gone for crit damage with crit rate. Defense percentage, that's where his damage scales from. Crit. Speed, accuracy, crit, accuracy. We want his accuracy to be high enough to land that decreased attack. But I want tons of crit and tons of speed in his build. I took this one literally just because nice crit rate here, and it gave me an extra 20% crit damage from the set. And then is artifacts, defense with defense, crit damage with accuracy, accuracy with speed and defense. So this isn't the best banner in the world actually, but it did give me a lot of speed. So total stats then just over 200 speed, 3.8k defense. I could do with pushing it up a bit if I'm honest. 100% crit rate, 259 crit damage, 252 accuracy. So all of these guys are in absolute endgame gear. And the great thing about a speed team like this is it's 100% auto, and it only scales upwards. The more speed you get, the more damage you're going to do. The more offensive stats you get, the more damage you'll do. So this team only gets better as my gear improves. Whereas with a defensive team like I'd normally run, the team would be pretty stale, pretty static in terms of damage. So you see here, I can run it full auto from the start. And basically I've got Lanakis extending buffs. I've got Draco throwing out loads of debuffs. I've got my Mashald speeding people up. See all that buff extension there? So we've got crit damage on for days. We've got speed up 100% of the time. Increased defense up 100% of the time. And debuffs will just be constantly on the boss. We've got Altan coming in with his A2s hitting for 130 odd K. Even Valkyrie's hitting for 50k on her A1. We're getting Mashald hitting for 80ks. You know, my Draco's hitting for over 200k on some of his A1 hits when we get the debuff bar going up. So we tend to get to, you see the damage per turn, we tend to get to about a 1.5 million damage per turn once we get into full swing. So, I mean, that's insane. We know that when the Clanboss hits turn 20, he'll start to do a ton more damage. So basically on Ultra Nightmare, you want to get as much damage out in the time that you're alive. And what you see here, so we already see it sort of jumping up. 1.5 million per turn we're starting to hit now, turn 4. And as long as we're hitting those crits, we are slamming in for good damage with every single champion. Everybody is here to deliver a high damage number. There's not one person doing all the damage. Draco will do a ton more damage than anyone else because he's got the poisons going. But everybody is doing high damage. There you go. Mashald 167. Lanakis coming in with 130. Altan 125. You know, everybody's doing silly levels of damage. And the shields are what keep us alive. So the Valkyrie shields keep us alive 100% of the time. We don't even need the leech at this stage. We don't need leech until right towards the end of the fight. And even at that stage, it's pretty redundant. When I was using Martyr instead of Valkyrie, leech was really important all the way through. That's what kept us alive. At this stage, we don't actually need it because the shields withstand all of the Clanboss damage. So as I said, you can definitely replace other people in this build. You can replace, I've got a Vizier. I've used Vizier in this same build and I'm still doing 50 odd million with Vizier in the team. I don't have a Longbeard, but you could replace Lanakis with a Longbeard. You can definitely swap out your decrease attack champion for a Sepulchre or a Jared even, but you probably do less damage because, you know, Altan does a ton of damage. You could definitely go 2 counter attacks in the same lineup, so I could put a Martyr in as well as a Valk. You could swap out the Poisoners for someone like a Frozen Banshee. I've seen someone actually do a double Frozen Banshee comp and kicked out about 40 million damage, Ultra Nightmare. So there's some really interesting things you can do, but it's just crucial that your team are going fast enough to get multiple turns against the Clanboss. So I'm going to let this run through towards the end. I'll show you the results, or I'll show you the fight towards the end, and you can see kind of how hard we're still hitting. Right, so we are at turn 25. From this point on, the Clanboss is absolutely nailing our guys. Hits them so hard. Our biggest danger right now is Mashald and Lanakis can both outrun their buffs. So they can outrun the shield and they can outrun the defense buff because they get extra turns. There you go. Mashald just got cracked for 40k. He's gone down because he outran his shield. It's my biggest danger. And it also means, and it's why I put a bit more defense into that Mashald build. Looks like I still need perhaps a bit more HP as well. But we're coming on to 40 million damage. We've still got the Clanboss targeting into our leader, Altan, because we've managed to keep buffs pretty similar across the board, and that's a really important thing to do. We rely now on getting the shield back as often as possible and keeping the damage up. We're now at the stage where it's kind of survival mode, get as much damage in as you can. But generally on full auto like this, on Void Affinity, generally hitting about 50 million per key. Sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less, depending on RNG and luck and all that type of stuff. But you can see here my Lanakis still going strong. As long as she's got that increased defense buff up, she keeps herself alive. As long as we've got the shield coming in, we kind of keep the team alive. But that's probably going to be about it for this run. So we're going to be just short of maybe 44 million for the overall run. But if you see the amount of turns it's taken, the amount of time it's taken, I mean, an 8-minute run to basically, I mean, it's 100% guaranteed 2 key, 100% of the time. Normally, if I do the second half of it on stream, doesn't matter what affinity boss this Clanboss turns into, it's an easy clear boss. I don't know, so we've done 44 million here. I actually don't know how high people have kind of 1 keyed. I got quite close to 1 key in hard. I can easily 1 key normal, just for fun. I get over 100 million on brutal, just for fun. So I get a third of the brutal damage out. You know, so this team's really good fun to work with. And as I say, it can only get stronger as my gear and my glyphs and stuff like that improve. So that is an endgame Clanboss team. Leave me a comment below what you're using. The only person I've seen that puts stuff out is Murder Inc. that does perhaps bigger keys, bigger hits than this, and that is doing like incredible maths and speed tuning with his comps. So yeah, what do you think, guys? I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you soon.